Hello, my name is Crystal Petry, and you are watching another episode of the Crystal Petry Podcast, Season 3. Today, I'm talking about financial and self empowerment for Black women and women of color. This podcast is about more than inspiration, it's about turning knowledge into action, building strategies that break cycles, and creating legacies of wealth, confidence, and community. Today, we'll explore how women can not just learn the tools, but actually implement them in ways that transform lives. And here to educate us is Janeil Pierre. So, welcome to the podcast, Miss Pierre. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me. Such an honor.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast and for saying yes when I ask.
Absolutely. It's my
So,
pleasure.
where in the world are you?
So I am in Texas. I reside in San Antonio, Texas.
Excellent. Well, we love Texas around these parts. We love Texas around these parts. Okay, so what does financial and self empowerment look like? That's the first part of the question. But what does that look like specifically for Black women and women of color?
So the first thing I'll say to that is possibility.
Okay.
A lot of us were brought up in different diverse backgrounds, and sometimes our minds, because of our environment, limit us to what is possible for us. We look around and we see that we didn't come from money, and we don't know anyone personally in our family members, in our family tree for the past couple of generations that came from wealth or had access to abundance. And so the first thing that comes to mind is possibility. You might not have come from wealth, but it is very possible that wealth can come from you.
Oh, I love that.
And so it is very possible with some very strategic and intentional decisions that as a community we have the ability to create wealth for ourselves and our family.
How does cultural and history experiences or historical experiences shape the way financial journeys look and feel for Black women and women of color?
So I love that question. It's such a loaded question. But what I would say to that is it depends on what we have been exposed to. Some of us, a lot of our history, financial history is now coming to the forefront. When you think about Madam C.J. Walker, most people have heard about her in the past couple of years when her movie came out, but she was actually the first millionaire, the first millionaire, woman millionaire in this country. And a lot of us didn't know anything about her until that movie became a thing. So it depends on what we've been exposed to, what we know as far as history is concerned. Because here we're thinking, oh, it never happens for us. And if it happens for us, it's because of this. Or if it happens, it's like a fluke, it's like a one-off thing. But the more we expose ourselves to what we have done or where we have come from, the more our minds open to the fact that we have what it takes to create wealth, and that not only that we have what it takes to create it, but that it's a good thing. Abundance is a good thing. I've coached so many women through the guilt of having more than enough.
Mhm. And you know, with Madam C.J. Walker, Miss Pierre, they frame that story in her narrative, which she being a millionaire is absolutely true, but they frame it as she was the first Black woman instead of she was the first woman
Woman,
to
millionaire,
be a millionaire. And
period.
both are true. Both are absolutely true.
Yes. Yes, she absolutely was the first woman millionaire. And
Mhm.
there was something in my brain that was telling me she was the first millionaire, period. But I'll have to go back. I won't say that with facts because it's just a thought that popped into my head. But I know for a fact that she was the first woman millionaire, not just the first Black woman millionaire.
Exactly, exactly. Now, why is it important to talk about implementation instead of just the financial information?
Oh, information is everywhere, especially now where we have access to AI and access to this and access to that. We can just find the answers to anything anywhere. We are living in an information bubble and we don't need any more information. Information without implementation is just knowledge. And knowledge, if you don't act on it, means nothing. People say knowledge is power. No, implementation of that knowledge is where your power comes from. Right. And so we're living in this space where it's information overload, which is why I had to update how I deal with my clients. I had to go back and get additional um, knowledge and additional certifications to be able to get to help people to implement.
Mhm.
Implementation is everything, because if you read any of those books I have on the shelf and you do nothing with the information, what good is the information? It doesn't mean anything. And so what keeps us from implementing is the stories that we've told ourselves. It's the backgrounds that we grew up in. It's the things that we believe. It's the stories that's playing in the background of our minds. And so in order to build wealth or do anything, we have to get past those stories. We have to rewrite those stories and recode the things that we once believed and recode the programming. Because whether we want to believe it or not, we are all programmed. We're programmed to be employees. We're programmed to be consumers. We're programmed in somebody else's story to be a benefit of them. And it's time we talk, we bring the conversation forward into reprogramming the things that we have been told and taught.
Mm. What are, staying in the same lane as stories, what are some of the stories and some of the myths about money and power that Black women and women of color need to challenge?
Yes. So, like I said before, wealth is bad, abundance is bad, it's greedy. You should be humble, you should be satisfied, you should be contented with where you are. And if you have $2 more than enough when your bills are paid, that should be enough. But we can't change our generation with just $2 extra when we're finished paying our bills.
Mhm.
We deserve to have a full life, a full life.
Yes.
Everything that's out there is available. And then let me say this. People believe that money inherently makes them bad, but money only exposes who you already are. If you're a kind, giving, loving, generous person, when you come into money, when you come into abundance, when you come into wealth, you will do more of that. If you are greedy, selfish, self-centered, all of the negative things that people can be, when you come into money, that is what gets pushed to the front line. Money doesn't make you into someone that you're not. We as a people give money, an inanimate object, so much power,
It's true.
and we don't hold any back for ourselves. If money is a piece of paper, if I give you this, you're telling me that this is going to turn you into Scrooge McScrooge.
Mhm.
Insert villain here. So at what point in time are we going to take responsibility for the choices that we choose to make? Right? So some of the things that we have to challenge is that money changes us. Money reveals who we already inherently are and who we're choosing to be. It has nothing to do with money, right? We know some very unrich, opposite of rich people, struggling people that are greedy. We know some people that are working with us, debt up to here. They have nothing to give anyone, and they're the meanest people ever.
The worst people.
The
Yes.
worst. So to attach money as the reason why somebody is doing something, we definitely need to challenge that. And we need to challenge that. Another thing we need to challenge when it comes to money is the fact that the thought that we're going to lose the people around us. That's
Mhm.
a fear a lot of us have. If I outshine, if I do too much, if I have, so many of us self-sabotage and we push money away, because somewhere inside of us there is this belief that if I come into money, if I am wealthy, the people in my life are not going to be able to relate to me anymore, and I'm going to lose those relationships. Though these are all things I deal with my clients, right? So we have to get past those limiting belief when it comes to money so that we can live a full life, so that we can experience life in its glory. We can have something to leave behind as well.
Mhm.
a legacy.
Man, you are speaking facts on this podcast. I love it. I love it. Okay, what are some common financial hurdles that Black women and women of color face today?
So this one is an actual lack of knowledge because of the limiting beliefs, and
Mm,
it's investing. A lot of us are scared to invest.
right.
We want to be the best employees. We want to, we're going to climb the corporate ladder. Even in business, we bring in so much and then we just spend it all. Right. And I am a huge proponent of living life to its fullest. I'm a huge proponent of having everything that your heart desires. But we got to get to the point where our money is making money and we're spending the money our money made.
Yes, I love
That's
that.
a huge thing for us. We got to get comfortable with investments. We got to get comfortable not just listening to what people say and listening to people's negative experiences with investing. Because here's the thing, I have lost money investing, but whose responsibility is that? Mine. I try to take shortcuts. And a lot of people will not admit that the reason why an investment did not work out is because they didn't do their due diligence.
Mm,
If you make a well informed decision when it comes to where your money goes, chances are you will have an ROI, a return on that investment. But we get so scared. We don't want to lose anything. We consider it losing, taking a chance. I don't want to risk it. So it's either we hold on to it for dear life and we don't let it go. We don't, we're cheap. I'm cheap. And you think that that's a badge of honor or a crown that you're cheap and you're holding on to everything and you're not letting that wealth circulate. Wealth needs to circulate, right? Or you're too scared to invest, or you're overspending to make up for the things that you didn't have as a child.
oh,
So now you
yes.
want everything, everything, everything. And there's
Yes.
nothing remaining to grow, to leverage, to cultivate, to capitalize, to add investments so that you can truly live. Because here's what we latch on to this retail therapy thing. And the fact that it's coined retail therapy lets us know that there's something that's being blocked. There's
Mhm.
something we're not addressing. So we go spend. And in the moment that we're spending, we have this rush of dopamine and we feel so awesome and amazing and great and on top of the world. And then when we come home, all of that crashes down
Immediately, yes.
immediately. That rush of dopamine has now turned into guilt. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have bought this. I have so much debt. This, that, the next. And now and now here comes the shame and the guilt. And that cycle repeats over and over and over again.
Mhm.
So until we address those things, until we figure out what do we need therapy for? What's the thing that's pushing us to look for therapy? We won't be able to be in that position where we are using the money that we're bringing in, whether it's through business or through um, being an employee, through our W-2 jobs. That we have to think of those things as our investments, our first investments, right? That's the money that we are going to push out. And what are we doing with this? What are we being intentional with? Until we
Mhm.
can get to that point, we're always going to be in this rat race of struggle, retail therapy, holding on, being cheap, all of the nines with our money instead of just letting it have that natural flow in and out, in and out. And then we're being selective in where and intentional with where it goes.
And a lot of that goes back to what we were talking about earlier is the stories and
Mm-hmm,
the myths that and the programming that we have around money. And if
mm-hmm,
you can figure that out, at least this is what I believe. If you can figure out that story,
mm-hmm,
that programming around money,
mm-hmm,
then you can figure out why you think retail therapy is going to help you. You
mm-hmm.
can figure out why you are so afraid of investing your money. You know, you
Why
can
you're
figure
so
out
afraid
those
of
areas.
having the money as well too.
Yes, that too. That too.
Because there are
What?
a lot of high six-figure earners, even
Mhm.
seven-figure earners that are living paycheck to paycheck or in debt.
That's true.
And when you don't have it, you think that if I had seven figures, if I was making $500,000 a year, I wouldn't have no debt. And then when you get
That's
to that
not
point,
true.
you realize you're living in the same cycle because the dollar amount in your bank account does not automatically change your habits. Your
Mhm.
habits change the amount of dollars in your bank account.
Yes, I love that. I love that. What are some simple systems that women can start using to help them with investing, but also help them start building wealth?
First, you got to define what wealth means to you.
Okay.
Wealth is not a blanket term. Something that I can value is something that would mean nothing to you. So, what does wealth mean to you? Turn off the TV and the gossip and the conspiracy theories about what other people you have never met or even seen in real life is doing. Turn all of that off.
And you probably will never meet.
And you exactly. And even if you did, the conversation about what you believe about their money and what they're doing and how they got none of that matters. We got to stop that. We would see somebody doing something, and immediately, because we don't believe it's possible for us, we'll start finding reasons why they're wealthy. Oh, she's only wealthy because she's a sellout. He's only
Mhm.
wealthy because he sold his soul to the devil. This one is only wealthy because they did this. We gotta that right there is something
Right.
you gotta ask yourself. Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that the only way someone can be wealthy is if they did something immoral? Because that is a clue into what you truly believe is possible for you.
Mhm.
Because if you know you can go out there, write a book, sing a song, do stand-up comedy, if you believe that is possible for you to create wealth for your family and yourself, then when you see somebody else doing it, you would not immediately start looking for reasons why you believe it's possible. So the first thing is to cut all that noise out
Mhm.
and be real with yourself. What does wealth look like for you? Because as many people as we see wealthy, there are tons more that we have no clue that are walking right amongst us that have the same level of wealth. You only know the people in the spotlight and what they say about those people.
That's
You don't
true.
know the person that's sitting next to you in that plane and coach that might have $100 million net worth.
Yes, that's true.
Right? So define what it means to you. What does your life look like? What does your wealthy lifestyle look like? What does it feel like in the morning when you wake up? What does it feel like at night? What type of relationships do you have with your children and with your spouse and with the people that means most to you? What are the things that you're doing to add value to this world? Decide on what that means to you first, and then come up with a number. Sometimes we just throw random numbers out there. But what does that life, if you had to live that ideal lifestyle, what type of income are we talking about coming into your household? What is that number? Is it $50,000 a month? Is it $100,000 a month? Without limitations. Because some people, it's all limited. Why would anybody need 100 million? You don't need that kind of money. Yeah, you don't need it, but guess what? It's nice to have it.
It is nice to have it.
It is nice. I have lived both sides of the coins.
Mhm.
Nothing at all, like hungry, nothing. Sleeping on the floor, nothing. To forgetting that I got paid.
Wow.
And let me tell you, in every lifestyle, in every lifetime, I would choose forgetting that I got paid. In every lifetime, I would choose that
Mhm.
over being hungry, right? So, how much does it cost to live the way you want to live? And then what do you value?
Mhm.
What are the things that mean the absolute world to you? So many of us believe that you cannot be an ethical millionaire or billionaire.
Which is not true at all.
Oh my
And I
God, that is
feel
not
like
true.
it's unfair to millionaires and billionaires who are ethical, who are great people, but we just assume because they have so much, they're not good people. I
They're
just
not
feel like
good people.
that's so unfair to just cast them into the lot with everyone else.
With everyone else. And the thing about it is, you really do not know. All you know is what they say. You have no proof of anything, even
Right.
about the people that you believe are mean, nasty, greedy, da da da. You really and truly have no idea what they're doing. You
Mhm.
only know what the media shows you. And we all know what media, the purpose of media is to paint, is to program you how they want you,
Right.
to keep you where in that box that they want you to be in. So I hardly ever watch TV now in this phase of my life because I don't
Mhm.
want nobody to tell me what to think. I want to be able to think for myself. I don't
Mhm.
want you to tell me how I should feel. And we get sucked into that. And the result is we live in a reality that we hate. We don't like this reality, but we have convinced ourselves. I'm humble. I would rather be humble than to have money. Good luck.
Right.
My job is not to convince you that living in abundance and being able to properly feed yourself, clothe yourself, help other people in this world, live a good life, have fine experiences. It's not my job. I don't take that on as my responsibility to convince you otherwise. It's either you want it or you don't. But I know from personal experience being able to give my mother a certain amount of money every month and still maintain my lifestyle feels damn good to me. Having my siblings be able to call, or my niece or my nephew, somebody wanting something or needing something, and I'm able to be like, okay, I got you. That feels good,
Mhm.
right? Being able to just get up in the middle of the week and fly to insert destination and stay there for as long as I want, that feels good.
And
Because
it sounds good too.
listen, when I need a break right now, I've been on a break since October, since the beginning of October. I decided I scrapped all my Q4 activities and just rested.
Wow.
That feels so good.
Yes.
It feels amazing to not have to set an alarm and wake up in the morning, right? It feels good to take time off. It feels good to not have to push through cramps to go to work because if I don't go to work, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. It
Right.
feels good to not feel like I'm about to pass out on this floor, but I got to be here anyway. It feels good to walk away from toxic environments. I made a post recently that from years ago, an incident that I was involved in. And in that moment, I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe. And instead of staying where I was, I got up quietly,
Mhm.
my bags, changed my flight, got a hotel, and left because I could have afforded to do that. In that moment, I didn't have to compromise on my safety.
Mhm.
And there are so many of us that are trapped in situations where we want to leave. We want to leave this toxic job. We want to leave this toxic relationship. We want to leave this toxic household. And we can't because our credit is messed up. We have nothing saved. And we have no clue what we're going to do if not for this person's support. These are the things, the simple things that we often overlook and take for granted that abundance allows us to do.
Mhm.
When I got to that hotel, the Uber ride was 90 minutes from the airport. I was 90 minutes from the airport. Called an Uber, got a hotel, changed my flight, and came back home because I could have afforded to. I did not have to stay in an environment that was harmful to me, right? These are the things we take for granted. And this is what investing your money allows you to do. This
It
is
gives you choices. It gives you options.
That's it. You have options when you have money. So back to the, I've strayed from the question a little bit. But back to the question is deciding what that life looks like, and then what is your values? What are your values? A lot of us don't even know what we value. What are the things that mean the most to us? Because we're in hustle mode all the time. So we
Mhm.
don't even remember what our favorite color is. We don't even know what are the things that mean a lot. When I ask women questions like this, what's your favorite color? Oh, I haven't thought about it in a long time. What do you like to do? What is fun for you? They can't answer because they're in hustle mode all the time that they have forgotten and moved so far away from themselves
Mhm.
that they don't even know simple things about themselves anymore. So, what is valuable to you? And then, what are your skill set? We were all born with something. If you could have done what I can do the way I can do it, I wouldn't be here. There'd be no need for me to be here. If I could do what you can do the way you can do it, there would be no need for you to be here, right? We all are unique and we all have something to offer. What is that thing? What is that thing only you can do the way you can do it?
Mhm.
And then how can you monetize that? We think, oh, I can sing, but ah, there's a million reasons why you don't want to. But there are people that's designed, people that on the planet that will only hear your voice when you speak, when you sing, when you paint. There are people designed for you and
Mhm.
you only. And when you don't show up in your gifts and in your values the way you were supposed to, those people struggle and suffer. They miss something. So, what do you value? What are you good at? How can you add value to this world? What are the things that make you happy? And you go that route to make money. Even if you're in a job right now, use that job as capital. Use that job as your investor. That's my investor. He's investing in me with these paychecks, and I'm about to take this paycheck, take 20% of it, and put it towards what I really want to do.
Right. Right.
Building wealth is so much simpler than we think it is
Mhm.
because we don't take enough time to examine what it really entails. So
How
that's
do,
I'll start.
how do Black women and women of color navigate spaces and industries financially that is not built for them, that is not made for them?
I don't believe that not because it's not made for us that we can't take advantage of it.
Mhm.
I believe the opposite. Get in those rooms. Get in those rooms. Start small. There are lots of spaces where look up conferences in your city if you can't travel out just yet. But get in those rooms. Pay attention. And don't just pay attention to find fault in what they're saying, right? Examine it, take it apart, think about it on your own. There are rooms that were not created for nothing really in this country was created for us. Think of
Mhm.
what name one thing in this country that was created with Black people in mind besides struggle.
That's true.
There is
You
nothing.
right.
But we have been defying odds from the beginning of time. Madam C.J. Walker and the likes, right? We have been defying odds. And every time we defy the odds in huge number, they change the rules of the game.
They
But
do.
they're playing the same game. So the rules can't change that much because then they'll change the rules and change them out of the game, which they don't want to do. But we have to get to that point where we're looking at what they're doing and we're following the steps that are in alignment with who we are and what we value. We never give up parts of ourselves for money. That's not how it works.
Right.
What are they doing? I had Dr. Myron Golden always says, find out what rich people are doing and do the same. Find out what they're doing. Stop saying that they sell their souls and they did this. One of the things I was telling my sister, we had such a great laugh about this. I was like, because I was started studying Beyonce because she's
Mhm.
a marketing genius. I mean, and she's just that girl, right?
Yes.
And I was studying her. I was like, dang, she has been in the industry for this amount of years. She's did this.
Mhm.
She had to pull back from the public because they were like, just
Exactly.
So I fully understand. And as an introvert and a Virgo, I truly understand. I truly understand the reason why she pulled back. But I was studying her and looking at her performances and everything else like that. And I said, when she did Coachella,
Mm-hmm.
I believe she was practicing for, I don't want to get the number wrong, but I believe she was practicing for about 18 months before that, because it was just after she had the twins.
Mm-hmm.
She was eating God alone knows what, because she said no fruits, no this, no that,
I
no
remember that
alcohol.
on her documentary.
Right. All of these things she took away from herself, and she did all of this practicing to lose the baby weight. And I think she was in this practicing for about 18 hours a day leading up to Coachella.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm like, dang. Now I'm a military girl. I retired from the army. And I know what hard work is. Trust me, I know what hard work is, and no sleep. So I'm no stranger to that. But I'm like, dang, consecutively for all those months, she was
Wow.
rehearsing 18 hours a day. And people are accusing this woman of selling her soul to the devil. If I ever sold my soul to the devil, I don't want to work. Why do I should just wake up in the morning and there should be $10 billion in my bank account. If I want to sell my
That is
soul to
funny.
work as hard as Beyonce works, the devil owe me a refund.
That is funny.
The devil owes me a refund. So we gotta think outside the box a little bit, right? And start seeing things. So that woman works crazy hard.
Yeah. And that's just what we see or what she tells us. Like we
We
don't
don't
see
see nothing
all, yeah, we don't see
else
all the
behind it.
behind the scenes stuff.
Exactly. We see what she shows us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. So imagine the things that we don't see.
Yes.
So wealth is our responsibility. There is a lifestyle she decided that she wanted. There are dreams that she decided she was going to pursue. And she decided she was not going to ask anyone for permission to pursue her dreams. And that's where the level we have to get to. And stop falling for silly conspiracy theories. Like, it's doing us no good.
At all.
It's doing us, all it's doing is adding more limitations to the limitations that we already have. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a big star. I don't want, and our talents just sit there. Someone said a long time ago, there's more talent in the graveyard
Yes.
buried than we know about. And I
Mm-hmm.
do believe that because I
I
see
do
it
too.
all the time. I don't want to. If I do this, it means there's so much limitation when it comes to money and abundance. Like I said before, abundance is a good thing. That money, going back to the Beyonce example, that money that she would leave behind for her children probably would last the way the Rockefeller's money has lasted.
Yes. And I'm sure, and she hasn't said this, but I'm sure that's a goal for her and her husband.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not? Why
Exactly.
not?
Why not?
Why not? I hear people say all the time, I'm not leaving anything for my children. They have to get it out of the mud like I did.
Why?
Why? Why? Yes, you can teach your children how to work hard,
Mm-hmm.
how to have great work ethic. Yes, you cannot give them everything that they ask for, but it's not an either or. You can teach them all of those things and still give them a leg up.
Yes.
You can there is no reason why you can't give your children a leg up. Why should they have to struggle? I wouldn't wish the struggle that I've been through on anybody, much less my own offspring.
Exactly.
Do you know what
Exactly.
hunger feels like? Like hunger, like you don't have a choice. Not that I'm hungry and I can't leave the office right now hungry. I'm hungry because I didn't eat enough yesterday and I don't have anything to eat today.
And probably not tomorrow either.
And probably not tomorrow. Why would I want my child, any child, to face that? Why? Why would I send my child out there to face that type of music
When I could have done something about it.
when I could have some money put aside? $50 a month can pay for college, invested over 18 years, can pay for college and probably have a down payment on a house.
Mm-hmm.
They still have work ethic. They're still good people if you raise them to be that way, and they follow in the way you were raised, because some children don't, right? You can do everything right and they still do what they want to do, because we make our children, we don't make their minds.
Right.
right? But if your child has the ability to be a decent human being, why not leave them something behind? My grandmother, God bless her soul, I believe, because when my grandmother passed at 75 in 2021,
Hmm.
everything was coherent. She had all of her coherence, her hair, her teeth, everything. And but we as a family believe that she knew she was going to pass. She didn't tell us anything.
Hmm.
But what she did, and this is my belief, what she did when she got that news, she went and she took out an insurance policy and for me, put me as the beneficiary. It wasn't a lot of money, but guess what? That meant so much.
Yeah.
That meant through the grief, through the pain, being upset with her for not telling us what was going on, that the fact that she thought enough about me to do something like that meant so much.
Hmm.
Why would we not want to do what we can for our family? Why?
How does self-worth connect to the financial decisions that we make or don't make?
Ooh, I love this question, and I have a whole chapter on it in my book. Self worth is everything, it plays such a huge part. We walk through life repeating things that we came up with as children to keep us safe
Hmm.
into adulthood and don't realize it. I'm not enough.
Oh,
Somewhere in our childhoods, at some point in time, this is majority of us, something has happened that we decided because this thing happened, I'm not enough. And then once we have that belief, we go through life looking for evidence of I'm not enoughness. And when you go looking for something, regardless of what it is, you will find it,
hmm,
right? And so when we lose that sense of self worth, we don't speak up. We don't negotiate salaries. We, as business owners, we don't charge for the value that we are providing. We stay in relationships that are not good for us because who else will want us? I'm not enough. I'm not worth it. I'm not deserving because if I am, X, Y, and Z wouldn't have happened. This person would not have treated me that way. My father would not have left. My mother would not have been abusive.
hmm.
My brother would not have done that. And now we're making financial decisions with that same programming.
Oh,
Our worth is everything. If you see, yes, a friend and I were talking about Lisa Ray yesterday.
The
Lisa Ray,
actress?
yes,
Okay.
Lisa Ray McCoy. Lisa Ray McCoy is a woman who is 100% clear on her worth as a woman.
Mm.
And she says it out loud, and the internet goes crazy every single time. Who does she think she is? She's a gold digger. She's a this, she's a that. But that woman don't care. She will only marry a certain caliber of men.
Yeah.
She will only accept certain things in her. She is 100% clear. And when we are standing there looking at someone who is bold enough to say, that man got to have more money than me.
And not feel guilty about it.
Exactly. So now you want to poke holes in why she's saying that because it's okay for you, because of your self worth, because of what you think you're worth, to not pursue a man that has more money than you. Right? So you
Hmm.
start getting into the morals and the values and the where you start to put it in a box. But for her, I am this person. This is the way I see myself. And this is the only type of partner that is good enough for me because we don't know what type of work she had to put in herself. We don't know
Right.
what type of background she dealt with as
Right.
a child and decided she was not going to carry forward to the next generation. So she found her worth and she stands solidly in it.
Hmm.
And anytime anything comes out of alignment with what she decides she is worth, she immediately gets rid of it or them.
Wow. Talk about strength. and courageous and boldness and all of the
It's a
words.
standard.
Yeah, the
She has
standard.
set a standard for herself. And so many times we're afraid because we don't want to ruffle other people's feathers. And we don't, somewhere along the line, we got boxed into humility.
Hmm.
And so
And that's,
anything
I
that
feel like
doesn't,
that's just a girl thing. Men don't have that issue of humility and humbleness, and they don't have that at all.
no, I agree. I never thought of that, but I definitely agree. Because a man will step out with the golds and all the things and the shoes and the Rolls Royces and the Bentleys and ooh, but a woman do that? Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my God. Why can't she be humble? Why she got to be so flashy? Why is she showing off?
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
What steps can women take now as they're listening to this podcast, or once they finish listening to this podcast? What steps can they take after learning financial principles?
Make a move. The door is on only open once we talked about this earlier when you start implementing. I have been the type of person in the past
Hmm.
to try to figure it out up here. There is only but so much you can figure out up here.
Right.
Clarity becomes clearer with action. And we can't be afraid to make mistakes. Go out there, start small, do something, take small, consistent action, stand back, look, analyze what worked, what didn't work. It has nothing to do with what you're worth.
Hmm.
You taking action to become wealthy and something not working out has nothing to do with your worth. Go back and pick it apart. What did I do? What worked? Repeat that. What didn't work? Improve that. Take
Yeah.
any step that is in alignment with your value system, right? $50 a month, start investing. Spend 30 minutes a day reading up books on investment. Get your own understanding. I love Warren Buffett. And one of the things he says is that a good investment is no, that's not the quote, but I'm going
Mhm.
to ad lib it because I can't remember it exactly the way he said it.
Okay.
But it's something along the lines of the a good investment is something that you have thoroughly researched. Like it doesn't matter what it is. It's good if you have analyzed this thing. If you go into it with knowledge. Don't
Yeah.
just blindly, oh, they said it's a good time to invest in Uber. So I'm gonna go take out $100,000 life savings and put it into Uber. Then next week Uber thanked. And oh, you see, I'm stupid, I'm dumb. The next. No, small steps. If you know you want to invest in the stock market makes millionaires all the time. There are companies, the
It's
stock
true.
market is over 200 years old. And there are companies in the stock market that are over 100 to 150 years old.
It's
There
true.
are companies that have been paying increased dividends for more than 50 years straight. How many recessions have we had in the past 10 years,
Hmm.
20 years? But there are companies out there who's performing so well that they have been paying increased dividends for more than 50 years, more than 15 years, more than 10 years, more than 25 years. So I think it's safe to say that some amount of money can go into the stock market and you can get an ROI,
Right, right. And you can get
right?
something out of that.
You
Yes.
can you can jump into that pool too. But if you jump in gambling, you're gonna get gambling results. But if you come into it, you read a couple of books, you took a couple of courses, you have an understanding, you can explain it to a 5-year-old so that that 5-year-old understands it, and you make a decision and it don't work out, that's okay because there's no such thing as 100% risk free. There's no such thing. Everything is a risk. We're going to win some, we're going to lose some, but the point is to win more than you lose,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Because no one can predict what's going to happen in the stock market. Some people can influence what happens in it, but no one can determine day to day. But you can go back and analyze charts and all of this types of stuff and make an informed decision.
Yes.
So if that's something that you're interested in, or whether it's real estate, or whether it's putting cars on Turo, or whether it's starting a business, it doesn't matter. Take steps, get 1% better every day in the thing that you're most interested in. Stop letting fear run your life.
Hmm.
Fear is designed to keep you safe. For example, you're not going to cross the street if a truck is coming. Put fear where it belongs. It is designed to keep you safe. You don't want to be
Not keep you
100%.
broke.
Right? Not to keep you broke. Exactly. Just like you would wait until it's safe to cross, wait until it's safe to invest. Wait until it's safe to make that move. But you're doing it intentionally and with your knowledge. So don't just sit there, read all those books, and don't do anything. Take a step today. Take a step tomorrow. Small actions. 5% today, 10% tomorrow. Small. And analyze the things that you're doing. And don't get discouraged by failure. There's no such thing as failure unless you quit.
As we get ready to wrap up, I have two more questions for you, and then I promise I'm going to let you go. What is your intention in this space of financial education, financial literacy, but more importantly, financial empowerment?
So my intention is to help you along, to be that person that creates a safe space for you to put down and look at the things that you've been through, the things that's stopping you from stepping into your wealthiest self, right? So many times we try to do things wounded, hurt, bad experiences, or it causes us to freeze. But one of the things that's so important, which is why I'm also a life coach, is stopping for a moment and addressing the person that's creating the wealth or that wants to create the wealth. So my intention in this space is to be that person that holds a mirror up for you to see yourself and adjust your crown. So that when you go forth, you can make well-informed decisions in full confidence, knowing that whatever the result of that is no reflection of your worth. That's my intention. I was teaching money, doing money, and I saw people coming back. They would get the result that we wanted to work towards. They'll get it, and then they'll come back. Oh, I messed up my credit again. I'm so ashamed. You'll be so angry with me. And it did infuriate me because we would put so much work in. But then I had to step back and ask myself, okay, why, if we did so much work to get you with a 5-figure savings for the first time, get you investing, get you, name whatever goals that you want. And within 10 months, a year, maybe 2 years, all of it gone, reversed. And sometimes it's worse than before we started.
Yeah.
And so I had to take that step back and realize we are carrying burdens that's influencing our financial behaviors. So I became a life coach to help deal with that side of things. So that's my intention, to not just throw more information at you and tell you, get over it. Like I hear some coaches would say, oh, you've been through that was 10 years ago. You should be over it by now. We're not built that way. That's not how it works. And because you believe that you got over your heartache doesn't mean that the next person can just jump over it. Because I guarantee you one thing, with the right trigger, that thing that you thought you got over 10 years ago can resurface because it was never dealt with. It was suppressed. So I help the person first, and then we get into the money. Because once all of that load is off and that confidence spikes and that sense of self-worth skyrockets, you can do anything.
Yes. Okay, my final question for you. Who do you think would make a great guest on the podcast? But you have to help me get them on.
All right, my girl, Siobhan Gabriel. She is a mental health specialist, and I just adore her. She is absolutely amazing, and she's doing such great things in the world right now. And so it'll be, without a doubt, my recommendation for this space.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. Thank you so much for the lessons that you have taught us all during this time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. To my community, thank you so much. You can get Janeil's podcast and all of my other podcasts on YouTube Podcast and Apple Podcasts. And remember, you always have time to listen and learn on the go.